I wanted to bring my 10 top worst horror movies of the year. I don't prefer doing these kinds of lists, but everything can't be a winner in my objectively subjective opinion. I am looking at the storyline or lack thereof, acting or lack thereof, cinematography or lack thereof, and I can't truly recommend these movies on this list because I didn't enjoy them overall for the most part. I wanted to give a couple of honorable mentions, and these are movies, while not great movies, they at least had a couple or at least one really cool scene that was redeemable for me enough to at least not be on a top 10, but they would definitely still be probably on my top 15. Until Dawn, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, Jurassic World Rebirth, and The Strangers Chapter 2. Honorable mention TV shows, worst: Squid Games, Cassandra, Goosebumps The Vanishing, unfortunately. Number 10, The Home, starring Pete Davidson. He's a troubled man who's trying to turn his life around and has to go work in a retirement home. It has a twist. The acting of Pete himself and leading in the role is fine. There is even the one shocking scene that wasn't that shocking for me compared to what I had heard about it or what was in the promo, like interviews and things about it. This movie left me wanting more. And it's not the worst on the list by any means, but I was left feeling meh. Number 9, Hard Eyes, about a Valentine's Day killer that kills couples. I didn't believe the couple. The reasoning behind why the killing is happening, I didn't buy it. The romantic comedy aspect of it is okay. I wish if it was gonna go campy, maybe it would have just went all the way campy. It had some okay endings of people, but and Hard Eyes itself, super cool mask, could be a super cool character, but the movie didn't quite sell it to me. And again, glad I saw this one at home. Number 8, It's What's Inside. This is a Netflix movie about a group of friends that get together before one of the friends is getting married. This movie is a little confusing, a little convoluted. The characters are really annoying. It's a super cool premise. I give that to it. I had to make sure I had everything in line with understanding it. Not an awful movie. I think a lot of people would appreciate some of the unique acting of the types of things everyone had to take on, but it still wasn't enough for me to truly like it since it did have that Netflixy feel. Number 7, It Feeds, about a mother-daughter psychic therapy duo. This movie reminds me of The Conjuring meets Insidious. The entity is super cool looking and you get like no screen time with it. The acting is okay, cinematography is okay. CGI doesn't even look the worst, but it just feels, I think it feels generic for some reason. It didn't stand out on its own, and I think that's why this one ended up in the middle of the road for me on this list. Number 6, The Woman in the Yard. This movie I was not excited about, but my friend wanted to see it. It's about a family that moves to this big house, and there's a creepy woman in the yard. It's not scary. The kids are annoying. The mother is frustrating. I like it's trying to show a lens of like being a single mother, the struggles, being overwhelmed, dealing with mental health issues. I don't know if I love the ending message of the movie, even though it is a little ambiguous. I think it's enough to kind of put the clues together. And this one for me left more just of a good conversation about mental health and awareness and doing what you need to do for yourself versus the movie itself. So for that, I can't rank it super high. Number 5, 825 Forest Road, from the people that brought you Hell House LLC. It's about a family that moves to a haunted town. Everyone in the town knows it's haunted, and every few years there's some type of event based on the past that makes more activity happen than normal. The background information and the lore and the detail of this movie is good. It does remind you of Hill House in that way, that they really give you the backstory, but that wasn't enough for the payoff or the lack thereof of the payoff. There's a couple of creepy moments. It also does like Weapons, where you're getting the same scene over and over from a different character's perspective, which you may or may not like. It's not the worst. Towards the end, I don't know if the budget ran out, but the effects got a little lackluster for me, at least compared maybe to the beginning. And unfortunately, also didn't like the ending, so it has to end up on the inside of my list, even though it wasn't completely boring. Number 4, Vicious, from the directors that brought us The Strangers, not my favorite franchise. Starring Dakota Fanning, an older woman brings her a box, and apparently you have to put something in the box that you hate, need, and love, or there will be consequences. This was hard to stay awake on. It's essentially one character and a couple of people here and there. There is no true resolution. It does have a couple of gross moments. It does feel low budget. It does feel sleepy. It is a slow burn, and I'm not even anti-slow burn, but this one didn't do it for me, even though Dakota Fanning did fine in her role, and it is, I think, a cool premise. Just the execution, the writing, it just needed a little more. It definitely felt like a lower budget movie just because it didn't feel fleshed out, not because of anything else per se. Number 3, Rosario. A woman goes to her grandmother's house during a snowstorm. This movie is so dark. You can't see what's happening, and it also has a really, really unattractive green colored filter that reminds me of the early 2000s or something. I think it had some creepy imagery, but you can't really see it. It also is another movie with kind of one main star, even though there is, again, something creepy happening. You're trying really hard to see it. I'm glad I saw this at home. I can't imagine having saw this in theaters. I did see people say in theaters this was also hard to see. I like that they tried to bring a cultural aspect in it and a different type of religion and entity, but it still fell flat, unfortunately. Number 2, Control Freak. This was a Hulu original with another good premise about a woman who makes books to help people with their mental health, and she's struggling so with her mental health, she's listening to her own books, audiobooks, and it's not working. There's family trauma, generational curses. The house was cool, and the entity that you see like one time at the end was cool. Even if it was CGI, it didn't look bad. I just found this movie dull. Not the premise, not the acting, aesthetically pleasing, but watching the movie because the house looks neat and seeing an entity for a couple of seconds is not enough for me to truly suggest it, unless you just like a psychological, surreal sort of movie, which I do. So I am glad I saw something based around things in that wellness area, because I do like that. And it does have some good ick moments. It has some triggers in this movie that I thought were really well done. And maybe if I think much longer, I would put it in a different place on my list. But I just remember being like, I could have gone without that one. My number 1 worst horror movie of the year is Candlewood. It is something. I hadn't seen anyone's review on this, so I did check out just a couple to see if other people may have unresonated with it the way I did. And one reviewer called it an Amityville borer, and another reviewer said this movie made him root for getting carbon monoxide poisoning. It's about a family that moves in the middle of nowhere where people in the town are mean. There's a backstory about natives, pirates, adaptogens, ghosts. Acting is bad. There's a lack of cinematography. The effects aren't good. It's not scary. When my family watched it with me, they were like, that was a waste of time. 2 thumbs down. maybe as a short film, the story could have worked better, but it just felt like there were a bunch of ideas and they sound cool, like maybe in a group talking late at night, but when you put it all together, they should have had an outside party. Maybe, just ask some questions so we could fill in some plot points. And I don't know. I know it's a low budget movie and I like to watch indie movies, low budget movies, give them a chance. But this is one that I would probably turn back the hands of time if I could. But what were some of your least favorite movies of the year? I know there's some other ones that aren't very good, but these, at least for me, were like, could have just not watched them. But yeah, thank you for watching. Hopefully have some better, great recommendations coming soon.